spouse open work permit application from outside Canada along with PG work permit application. This is the topic of today. We are going to cover each and everything about spouse open work permit if you are applying for it now along with PG work permit. Normally, we apply for spouse open work permit when we are on study visa in Canada. But if you are not eligible or you got refusal when you were on study visa, now you are applying for PG work permit application. Can you apply for spouse open work permit right now as well along with this PG work permit application? So in this video, I am going to cover each and everything about it, whether you are eligible to apply for spouse open work permit with PG work permit application or not, what are the complications in that, how to show funds, where to show funds, whether job is required to both husband and wife or not. So I am going to cover each and everything in this video. So watch this video till the end to know each and everything about spouse open work permit application from outside Canada with PG work permit application. So what we are going to cover in this particular video. First, spouse open work permit possibility from outside Canada with PG work permit application. Normally, yes, you can apply with study visa. It's not a problem. We apply for spouse open work permit along with study visa application as well. So that is not a problem. If you are eligible, you can apply for it. But if you couldn't apply for it along with study visa application or after getting your study visa, or if it got refused, in that case, you can apply for it along with PG work permit. So I'm going to share those details as well. Financial requirement for SOWP, how to show funds, job requirement for student, job requirement for spouse, kids visa, what kind of visa you can apply for the kids, and then documents needed for all the applications. All these things we are going to cover in this particular video. So for PG work permit application, how to apply for it, I have already made a detailed video about it just before this particular video. Scan the QR code, and with this QR code as well, you can find that video. Also, I have shared the link in the description as well, so you can go to that link and watch that video before watching this video. So for PG work permit application, details are already given in this particular video. Spouse open work permit with PG work permit application. So normally what people are going to suggest you can apply for spouse open work permit after getting PG work permit. It is going to take 4 to 5 months. So you can submit your application after getting your PG work permit. Yes, you are allowed to do it. It's not a problem. But many people are asking me, what if we want to apply for spouse open work permit along with PG work permit application? Is it allowed? Yes, it is definitely allowed. It is not a problem. So that's why I'm making this particular video. How you can do this, I am sharing everything in this particular video. So if you submit normal PG work permit application, there is nothing much in that. If you get your course completion letter and your final transcript, you can submit your PG work permit application. It is not a problem. So that is simple. It's not a problem at all. But if you submit spouse open work permit application with that, now things become complicated, because in that case, you need to complete all the criteria for spouse open work permit. Should you do it? Yes, it is highly recommended to do. Yes, it is worth applying for spouse open work permit because it can save 4 to 5 months of your time. If you are going to apply for spouse open work permit after getting your PG work permit, in that case, for example, if someone is applying for PG work permit right now in December 2024, you will get your result. You are applying in December 2024. You will get your result in May 2024 as per the current timeline. Then you will submit your application for SOWP here in May, and then you will get your result after 3-4 months. So you will be able to save 4 to 5 months of time. Suppose you apply in May for spouse open work permit and you get result in August. So it will save this period for you from May to August, because you will get your spouse open work permit result along with your PG work permit result. So you will be able to save 4 to 5 months of time if you are going to submit your application now. Many people can say that, what if you get refusal? You can get refusal even after getting your PG work permit. Refusal can happen any time. You might have got your refusal along with study permit application after getting your study permit. So refusal can happen any time. No need to worry about refusal. What you are losing in that? You are just losing your embassy fee. It's not a problem at all. What is your embassy fee? $255. That's it. This is your loss. So it's worth applying for spouse open work permit along with PG work permit application, because you are not losing anything in that entire process. The loss is of $255 of your embassy fee. Also, there is no risk of PG work permit. Even if spouse open work permit is refused, if you submit the file with PG work permit, still there is no risk of refusal on PG work permit. If your PG work permit file is perfectly fine, you have your English test score, course completion letter, you didn't breach any other condition of PG work permit, you will get PG work permit and spouse visa will be refused. So no need to worry about anything. You should proceed and take this calculated risk along with your PG work permit application. You can proceed for spouse open work permit, and in future it may happen that even after getting a work permit, you are not allowed to get your spouse in Canada. Right now it is allowed. In future there may be a rule that even after getting PG work permit, you are not allowed to apply for the spouse open work permit. So you should take this chance. You must take this chance. If you are applying for PG work permit now in December or in January, or you are applying in April or May, you need to try to get your spouse in Canada. This is one of the best times to apply for it. No need to worry about the refusal. The loss is of just $255. That is the embassy fee. If the kid is involved, then you'll be losing just the embassy fee. That's it. There is no problem in that. There is no risk of refusal on PG work permit. So I will highly recommend to proceed for spouse open work permit application along with PG work permit application. If you are going to apply with me, in that case, if we take any advance for spouse open work permit application, you don't require to pay the remaining amount until unless you get your visa. So even if we need to apply for you for 10 times, 100 times, you need not to pay anything until unless we get your visa. So that is also not a loss. We are not going to ask you for multiple amounts. For first application, separate amount is there, second application, third application, it's not there. Once we take advance, until unless you get your visa, we take care of the case. So no need to worry about that as well. So it's not like the Canadian system where you need to pay one amount for first application, then again you need to pay for second application, then you need to pay for third application. That is not there. Also, we don't want to apply for you for multiple times. It is just to cover your risk. I'm not saying that we will definitely apply for you for second, third, fourth time. We don't want to apply for that. We will give our best to get your visa in the first attempt only. We don't want to apply for you multiple times. It's just that you don't require, you are not at any kind of risk when you are applying with us, because once you pay the advance, journey is till you get your visa. You need not to pay anything to us. So the loss is going to be just for the embassy fee, nothing else, if you are going to proceed with us. Many people ask me whether we should apply for a spouse visa or we should apply for a visitor visa based on the convocation. So my recommendation is to go for spouse open work permit with PGWP, because visitor visa has higher refusal rate. Spouse open work permit is the right application for you and it doesn't have high refusal rate. Visitor visa has high refusal rate for the spouses. So spouse open work permit is the right application for you rather than going for a visitor visa application. So you should go for this particular application. Also, even if you completed a diploma for which you were not allowed to get spouse open work permit, now you are going for PG work permit with a diploma, still you are allowed to get spouse open work permit with that. How it is going to happen, I am going to explain this to you in a while as well. So whether you are completing a bachelor's degree, a UG diploma, a PG diploma, 1 year of diploma, 2 year of diploma, 1 year of master degree, 2 year of master degree, whatever you are completing, whenever you are applying for PG work permit, you will be allowed to get spouse open work permit with that. No need to worry about it. Duration of spouse open work permit. So if you are applying with the PG work permit, then what will be the duration of spouse open work permit? Will it be 2, 3, 4 months? No, it will be, duration will be as per your PG work permit. If you are going to get 3 years of PG work permit, then you will get spouse visa of 3 years. If you are going to get 1 year of PG work permit, then spouse visa will be of 1 year. So it will be decided based on your PG work permit. It will not be decided by some other factor. So how it happens? Whenever you get your PG work permit approved, PGWP approved, as soon as the approval happens, it is the primary application, and immediately after that, the spouse open work permit application is assessed. So as soon as this is approved, then this application will be assessed and it will either be refused or accepted, but it will be assessed after the assessment of PG work permit. So whatever PG work permit will be approved, whether it is for 1 year or 3 years, similar duration will be there for spouse open work permit application, because when the combined application is submitted, then the primary application is assessed first, it gets the result first, and then the secondary application gets the result. That's how normally it happens. So as soon as PG work permit is approved, then the spouse open work permit application will be assessed and it will get the result. Either it will be approved or it will be refused, but the result will happen after PG work permit. So eligibility will always be there after the assessment of, after getting the PG work permit. But result depends upon visa officer. They can give you acceptance or refusal. Don't worry about it. But eligibility will be there. It will not be a problem in any case. What is the funds requirement for spouse upon work permit? So even though student who is going on PG work permit right now may be working full time, in any scenario, this fund requirement will be there. You need to meet these requirements to get your spouse upon work permit. Anytime you are going to apply for spouse upon work permit from outside Canada, you need to meet this financial requirement. Even though the person who is in Canada, even though that person, primary applicant, is earning great money, still you need to meet this financial requirement. You need to show funds which are available right now. Even if the student or the primary applicant who is going on open work permit may be earning $1 lakh, but still you need to prove this financial capacity. Whenever you extend your visa, whenever you extend your spouse upon work permit, then your full-time job is the part of your financial capacity. It's not a problem. We have got many spouse upon work permit extension approvals when the spouse is inside Canada. But before getting inside Canada, you need to show this financial capacity. For the first person who is student in the scenario, or who is the primary applicant, the first applicant, for that requirement is $20,635. If you are applying for spouse upon work permit, you don't have any kids, how much funds are required? $26,000 are required. $26,000 are required minimum. More is always better, older is always better, so that is also there, but basic requirement is 26,000 Canadian dollars. If you have one kid, then $32,000. If you have two kids, then $39,000, then so and so forth. So this is the financial requirement for spouse upon work permit. Even if student is working, even if spouse is working, means primary applicant is also working, secondary applicant is also working, even though both of you, husband and wife, are working, still you require to show these funds as per this table. If this financial capacity is not meeting, in that case you are not going to get spouse upon work permit from outside Canada. Once you get it, once you are inside Canada, to extend your spouse upon work permit, then this is relaxed. You don't require to show the complete funds. Still you will get the extension. It is possible. But if that is not the situation, if you are outside Canada, you are applying for a spouse upon work permit like a fresh application, you will require to meet this financial capacity. If it is not there, you will not get visa. What are the other expenses? You need to do medical for everyone. Medical for all the applicants. For spouse, for kids, you need to do medical. Usually the cost is $100 to $400 depending upon the location. So in India it is $100 approximately. Then embassy fee for PG work permit, it is $255. Biometric is already done, so no need to add biometric in that. So for PG work permit it is $255. Spouse upon work permit, $255. If you are going to apply for the first time, then you need to add biometric fee as well. But if you have already applied for some other visa, biometric is done, in that case you need not to pay it again. So for spouse upon work permit, the fee is $255. Study visa of kid, if the age is 5 or above, then you can go for study visa, and in that case fee is $150. If the age is below 5 for kid, in that case the fee is going to be $100 for the as a visitor. So you need to apply for a visitor visa of the kid. This visitor visa is not a normal visitor visa, it is a dependent visitor visa, and kid can stay with you as long as you are staying in Canada as a primary applicant. Kid doesn't require to leave Canada in any circumstances if you are already inside Canada, or kid is traveling with you as a dependent. Then kid can stay there for 1 year, 2 years, as long as your visa is valid, kid's visa is also valid. Kid can also stay in Canada as a dependent. Documentation, so usually it costs $100 to $200. Then flight ticket, travel, etc., $1,000 to $2,000 per person depending upon from where you are traveling. Currency exchange, $100 to $200 depending upon how much money you are carrying in Canada in cash, Canadian dollars. Shopping, all depends upon you, how much you want to shop. So these are the expenses, other expenses apart from how much funds you need to show. Then how to show funds for spouse visa? All savings in Canada, whatever savings student is doing right now, because this is with PG work permit, till now the person, primary applicant, is a student. So all the savings in Canada, whether it is $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, whatever savings are there, we will count those savings in the account of primary applicant. For example, husband is in Canada and wife is in India. For example, this is the example. So whatever saving is there with husband, we will count all the savings with the husband inside Canada. As a student, whatever he has earned and saved in the account, all the savings will be counted. Then GIC will not be left, but in case I have dealt with the cases where student didn't withdraw GIC and they are saving the GIC. If GIC is there, if in case, or Hello Canada account. So these are the accounts which can be created from the home country for Canada. So this is just like opening an account in a other country. So we can open Hello Canada account for anyone, and after opening the account, you can deposit the money in Canada as well. So GIC or Hello Canada account, basically you are saving account inside Canada. This is just like that. So any account on the name of husband or wife in Canada, we can show them as the funds. Okay, so any savings on the name of husband or wife inside Canada will be counted as the part of funds. Then saving account or fixed deposit outside Canada, anywhere. It can be in the home country, it can be in UAE where you were working, it can be in anywhere, in any account in the world. It's not a problem. Any saving account, any fixed deposit can work in this scenario and outside Canada. So all the money which is there inside Canada, all the money which is there outside Canada will also be counted towards the funds for spouse visa. But it should be on the name of husband, wife or kids. Usually it is on the name of husband and wife. So any amount which is available on the name of husband or wife or kids and which can be withdrawn anytime for the uses in Canada is counted as the funds for spouse open work permit. Next is, do I need old funds for spouse visa? The answer is yes. It's always better to show old funds. But what if you don't have old funds? So I always say more the better, older the better. So if you have 4 to 6 month old fund, that is always good. You can show that financial capacity. It can be in the form of fixed deposit. It can be in the form of savings in your account, and you are just submitting your statement and there are no fluctuations in the statement. Fluctuations in the statement means you are not depositing 5 lakh rupees or then withdrawing the amount. There should not be big fluctuation. Normal salary is coming and you are just withdrawing the salary, doing normal expenses, just like that. So if there are no fluctuation in the account and you are having old funds, always good to go. You are having 6 month old fixed deposit, good to go. No need to worry about that kind of fund. But if you don't have old fund, in that case, you can send the entire money to Canada saving account. Suppose your husband is in Canada, you can send the entire money to his account and submit the balance certificate of the account. It is already in Canada. It gives more confidence to visa officer. You can do fixed deposit as well. Whatever funds are there. For example, you don't have old funds, you have new funds, then you are having it in your saving accounts. Now visa officer is checking the statement. Visa officer will be able to see you just deposited the money in the account, might got it from somewhere. Better than that, make a fixed deposit of it. There is not much difference in that. So you are having saving account, money was deposited recently, and fixed deposit is also going to show the same because it is also going to have the date on it, but it is still better than saving account. It gives that person has done fixed deposit on his or her name, so it gives more confidence. It is just psychological thing. Okay, even better than that, you can create Hello Canada account in Canada and you can deposit the money in Canada. You can send the entire amount in Canada. It will give more confidence to visa officer that money is already in Canada. Person has sent the money to Canada. So rather than showing recent funds in saving account, better to send it to Canada. It is always better. You can open an account in Canada. Dummy account means not dummy account. It is a remote account. Without even traveling to Canada, you can open it. And after opening that account, you can send the money directly to Canada and you can submit that as the statement for yourself, as the proof of fund for yourself. Also, you can submit saving account statement if the account is not fluctuating. Statement is old, we are able to submit 6 month old statement. It is always good to submit the funds like this. So if you don't have old funds, try to send it to Canada in your account or in your husband or wife account, whosoever is in Canada. So send the money to Canada, try to do that, or make a fixed deposit if you can't send it to Canada. that will work for you. Can I show funds in multiple accounts? Yes, you can have 5, 10, any number of accounts, it's not a problem. You can submit or you can show any number of accounts, it's not a problem, to the proof of your statement. In one account there may be $10,000, in other account there can be $5,000, another account can be $2,000, another account can be $8,000, another account can be $5,000. So you can submit any number of accounts, it's not a problem, but it must be on the name of husband or wife. That's it. It cannot be on the name of anyone else. Can I show funds in multiple countries? Yes, you can show funds in Canada or outside Canada. In outside Canada, it can be anywhere. In your home country, for example, India, or it can be in any other country, for example, UAE. So many people are there who are working in UAE, having savings in UAE, and some savings in India, some savings in Canada. Yes, you can show funds like this as well. It is not a problem. Can parents or parents-in-law sponsor for spouse upon work permit? The answer is no. Their funds can be additional funds. Additional funds. They can say that in case my kids require, I am going to sponsor them, I am going to help them, but those are not the funds which are going to be counted as primary funds. These are additional funds to show the financial capacity of your family, that we are so rich, so big. Okay, but it is not the primary funds. Visa officer is not count the funds which are given by parents or in the account of parents of husband or wife, anyone. Do I need to keep same funds in account after visa application? Yes. Until unless you reach Canada, you need to keep the funds in your account. Many people say that I will take the balance certificate, then I will withdraw the amount and I will give it to person from whom I took it earlier. No, don't do this. If visa officer is going to verify it from your bank, this is your visa officer, verify from bank. If your bank will say that you don't have funds right now, you will get a ban of 5 years. So never withdraw your funds after submitting the statement or FD to visa officer. Visa officer can check these funds anytime and you can get a ban of 5 years in that case. And it will become a problem for the entire family, because if one of you get a ban, then other will not be able to do future application and PR application as well. It will become a problem for the entire family. Everything will be ruined. So if you are depositing any statement, then keep those funds. Funds can be increased, but funds cannot be decreased. Can I show spouse visa funds through loan? Okay. Can you borrow it from someone, either bank or someone else, and show it as your funds? It can be done, but you need to do it smartly. Once you get the funds in hand or in your account, do not submit that statement as it is. Withdraw that funds, make a fixed deposit or send it to Canada. Okay, that's how you can use the funds which are borrowed from someone and you can use it to get your visa. So you cannot say that I took a loan, I have this money. Loan cannot be your financial capacity for spouse visa, but you can use it, you can take it from someone or the parents. So it can be a private lender or a bank, etc. You can get it and you can show it, but don't show that statement where it is visible that you took that money through loan. It should not be visible like this. English test needed for spouse visa? The answer is no. You don't require an English test for spouse upon work permit, but you require it for PG work permit. So for everything related to PG work permit, I am not covering here because it is already covered in the video. Link is in the description. Please check that video as well before watching this video. Job requirement. What is the job requirement for spouse upon work permit? So NOC-B tier 2 job for the student. Person who is applying for PG work permit right now, primary applicant, this person require a NOC-B level job so that you can get spouse upon work permit. I am repeating it. NOC-B level job is required to the primary applicant so that you can get spouse upon work permit. For PG work permit, it is not required. This job is not required. Even if you are not doing job for 6 months, you are inside Canada applying for PG work permit, job is not a requirement there. Even if you don't have a job, you will get PG work permit. It's not a problem. But to get spouse upon work permit for you, so in that case, there is a requirement of job of NOC-B level. Sometimes even in tier 4, some NOC-B level jobs are there, few jobs are there that can work, but try to get a job in tier 0, 1, 2, 3 so that there should not be any problem in getting spouse upon work permit. So even if primary applicant does not have a job, still it is possible to get PG work permit. PG work permit is not a problem at all. But to get spouse upon work permit, NOC-B level job will be required. If the job is not there at the time of application, what to do in that case? Because everyone doesn't get a job immediately after completing the study. What to do in that case? Then we submit the full-time job offer letter and other details, pay stub, etc. We submit those details and those documents later on to IRCC through web form. Okay, so this is the requirement. For spouse, it is not mandatory but recommended to have a full-time job for spouse. For spouse, it is not mandatory but it is highly recommended to have a job. So if you are applying for spouse upon work permit, try to show yourself working somewhere, either freelancing. Even if you are not working, try to show you working somewhere as freelancer, part-time job, whatever, voluntary, something. Show that you are able to work in Canada. You have some experience, you have some establishment in your home country, you have some connection in the home country, you are capable to work in Canada as well, because you are applying for work permit. You need to prove that you are capable of doing work as well. So your education, experience, everything makes a profile for you, and if you are working, it adds value to your file. If you are not working, there is high risk of refusal for spouse visa. If full-time job is not available, then submit job proofs through web form, later through web form. So if the student is not working while applying for PG work permit, in that case, we can submit those proofs, job proofs, later on through web form. For example, we submit the file right now in January, and student get job later on after the application of PG work permit in Feb. Then right now we will not show any job, but in Feb, after getting a job, we will submit it to IRCC through web form. That time the application will be amended with new documents. We can do it. So these are the proofs for the job. Means this is the notification by IRCC for spouse upon work permit. For primary applicant, valid work permit is required. All those things are mentioned here. These are the tier categories on which you need to have a job. These are safer tier categories. These are on NOC-B level. If you are on NOC-B, in that case, there should not be any problem. Next is, if a student is going to work on low skill level, still it is possible, but it is kind of a subjective matter. Many times visa officer refuse the application, even if it is allowed. But there are some exceptions as well. Already they have mentioned that people on these type of jobs are not allowed to apply for spouse upon work permit. So it is highly recommended that you should be on high wage category, should not be on low wage category. Then for family member, it doesn't mention anywhere that spouse should be working either for extension or for normal spouse upon work permit application. But usually spouse don't get spouse visa and spouse upon work permit extension. In both the scenario, if spouse is not working, there is high risk of refusal. Usually visa officer refuse the application, even though it is not a mandatory condition. What about children's visa? When and how, along with spouse upon work permit, we can apply for kids as well. Don't apply a separate application for kids. Always apply for kids application along with spouse application. And if you are applying for study visa now, apply for the entire family together. Don't apply separate application for spouse and kids. It's not recommended. So when to apply for kids? Along with spouse upon work permit. If the age is 5 or above, then apply for study permit. If the age is below 5, in that case apply for visitor visa or visitor record. So that's how you should apply for the application. If you submit the application in wrong visa category, for example, even if the age is just below 5, still go for study permit application. Okay, so always try to go for right visa category. If the age is for 6 and you apply for a visitor visa, you will get refusal because of wrong visa category application. So it is not recommended at all. Just be careful about the visa application. For visa application, what kind of documents to prepare? PCC. PCC is not mandatory, but now Canada is more keen about knowing your previous history, criminal history. So always try to add PCC in study visa application, visitor visa application, any application you are doing. Try to add PCC on in all the applications, because sometimes visa officers are like, they want to know whether you have any criminal history or not because of previous incidents where they found some issue with the students who were involved in criminal activities. They want to get PCC now. It is not mandatory again, but try to add it always with all the applications you are submitting. It is not required for the kids below age 18, but if you are adult, then in that case you need to submit PCC. for student, spouse, for everyone. Medical examination for all the family members, for spouse and kids, for all the kids, even if the age of kid is 1 day, still you should do medical for the kid as well. For spouse, kid, you require to do medical. For PG work permit application, out of topic, but for PG work permit application, if the student is going for healthcare related profession, then need to do medical examination in Canada as well. So medical examination for PG work permit is also required if you are going for healthcare profession, if you are going to work in healthcare related profession. So it will be a requirement, but usually to apply for PG work permit, you don't require to give medical. Documents for PG work permit, it was covered in the previous video as well. Watch that video for complete description. I am covering the documents here. So course completion letter is required, final transcript is required, final letter of acceptance through which you got admission. It should have the period, length of the course as well, length of the program as well, and duration as well, from when it started, when it finished. So everything should be there in final LOA. Then English test scorecard, CLB 7 for university and CLB 5 for colleges. So this is required, and try to get it in all the modules rather than the final score, overall score. Rather than that, try to get it in all the modules, because it is nowhere mentioned whether they are going to check all the modules or the final overall score. So try to get it in all the modules rather than getting it just the overall CLB 7. Try to get in all the modules. Study permit plus extension, all the study permits, initial study permit and extensions, whatever you have got, all the extensions are required, everything is required, all the permits. Then passport is required, photo is required, immigration form and SOP, small SOP is required to explain why you are applying for PG work permit, how much PG work permit you are eligible for, where you have studied, and all those basic details are there in the SOP. Documents for spouse upon work permit, passport, education, highest education can work. If you don't have like education, if your education is just 10th, no need to mention it. Just 12th, no need to mention it. If you have bachelor's, master's, then submit education. Even if you don't have good education, it is not a problem for spouse upon work permit. Even if you can't speak English, it is also not a problem for spouse upon work permit. Then experience is highly recommended. At least you should be working right now. That is more important. Marriage proofs, CA report. CA report includes 3 parts. First is fixed assets, then liquid assets, then income. Liquid assets and funds, here everything will be included. Core funds of husband and wife, which we discussed how to show your funds. So core funds will be there, and additional funds of the family members are also going to be there. So it is the combination of everything, core funds and additional funds. Then income of the family members, then photo, then same name affidavit. If you have different names in different documents, then same name affidavit, ID proofs, then permits for of primary applicant, those will be required to be added. Then study work document of the primary applicant. So these will be added from the primary applicant who is applying for PG work permit. Then documents of kids, passport, photo, education. If the kid is studying in first, second, third, fourth, fifth, any standard, any grade, so you can submit those documents that the kid is enrolled right now. You can take a document from the school that kid is now enrolled in, so grade, you can submit the proof for that. Birth certificate, consent of primary applicant, there is a consent letter that we need to add if you are applying for spouse upon work permit and the primary applicant is already there inside Canada. Then consent form is also needed. Visa application process, prepare GC key, prepare immigration forms, document file, prepare SOP for PG work permit and spouse upon work permit, for marriage, for kids. Each and every applicant is going to have separate SOP. Pay embassy fee, lodge file, get BIL, biometric instruction letter, give your biometric. If you have already applied for any visa for Canada in last 10 years, in that case your biometric was already done, you don't require to do it again. But if it is your first application, in that case you will get BIL and you need to give biometric, passport request, do visa stamping and travel to Canada. That's how you are going to apply. For PG work permit, right now there is scheme going on. So we can apply for your PG work permit in just $100 for if you are going to pay in December. And if you are going to apply along with spouse upon work permit, this is as per the case. Usually the charges which we take are 20,000 rupees INR, Indian rupees advance, and then something is after visa. Something is after visa depends upon many factors. Usually the minimum amount is 40,000 rupees and it can be more depending upon refusals. If you are living in Gulf country, working in Gulf countries, number of refusals, when you got the refusal, so multiple factors are there. Depending on that, it is kind of calculated, and then we can share it with you. So if you also want to apply for PG work permit, just PG work permit plus spouse open work permit extension, PG work permit plus spouse open work permit from outside Canada. In any of these cases, then we can also apply for you. And if you want to see how to apply for PG work permit, if you want to know all the details, then you can watch this particular video. It has all the details, and after that you can watch this spouse open work permit application as well. And it doesn't matter when you are applying for this spouse open work permit application, anytime the rule remains same. Everything but I have explained, these things are going to apply for any time you are going to apply for spouse open work permit application. If you have any questions, you can call me on the number given on the screen, and you can ping me for all the other immigration queries as well. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. See you in next video.